Uh, Hi everyone. I would just like to welcome you this part number 4, whereby in the last part we just created a sample, some graphic user interface on application layer. So we just implemented some business logic layer, whereby we was able to retrieve data comes from location, from our DB, creating table in location DB, and then we put its own rows or records. Also, we have retrieved the address information to be visible under the GUI. We'll be able, in that part, we'll be able to save the employee information. Though there was some error that we're going to solve that was just pops up, nothing else. So we need to retrieve employee data to Jtables. After that, we are going to update and read employee records. So that's all what we do have now. So now let us try to solve the error that was in the last part as quick as we can. So let's come here, this guy, because if we try to run, you can see first there are some errors that being populated. If you just click on this human resource just to track wherever we have this kind of the error, if we do human resource.java, this one, you can see just this get selected the item. This one is just trying to select the item and then be converted to the string, but actually it wasn't needed because this one is going to be converted to the string. This one, it will cause some error if it has null. That's the reason why. So because by default just there's something gonna be deselected. So let us just remove this one. Let's remove this one wherever we have to string under the different action to be performed, both sectors, cell, and so on. Let us just remove to string to be converted to string. Now we're good. Now let us try to run again the program. Let us first quit this one. Let us try to run. You can see now there is no error that being displayed here. So if we choose like east, you can see just being refreshed and so on. If you choose Kigali City, and then you can go Kichuchiro, you can see everything just comes up without an error. So in the last part, we'll be able to to save an employee where we do have like all of this kind of information. Okay. So for example, employee ID. Actually, if you specify non-value, you can see it has 3293. It missed one value. If we go here, you can see it just going automatically down. That means it's not validated. But as long as you provide exactly 5 of them, as we use what we call that kind of the formatted string, from formatted fields, it was able now to only acquire only 5 of them. We good. Now you can have a test employee, maybe 2 or 1, don't remember. So you can see it has Kigali City, Kicukiro, Kagarama. Those are the address. This one was able to be saved to the database. You can see data save successful. But if we try to change, like let us put to east, to go to the east, you can see the data has been populated, and we do have some nulls value here. Let's say number 3 to test the employee number 3. If we click on save, you can see we do have some null pointer exception before saving the database. So this kind of the thing, let us work on this one. It just comes up from the same process. We're just in try to convert this guy to string. You see, though there are that means, but like on a village sector, we do have some sector combo. We don't have any that are being selected. That's the one that are causing issue. Okay, that's the one that are causing issue. We can just solve it. You can see if we click on this one, they're going to point out the set village just coming as null. Okay, let us make it simple. By coming here, just do concatenate. Sorry, excuse me. So we do have this one, but just for concatenation, then we can move this state that converting to string, so that's going to be allowed as a string, because if we don't put it, let me show you. And then we do have like this way. They're going to say incompatible types object cannot to be converted to string. You see, because this kind of set province, it has data type of the string. That means cannot be converted to string. So you just come here, you just do concatenate, then you're done. Just add this double string, then you add the province, then you're done. So now let us add this one all over. We're just grabbing this confirmation like this way. That means if it comes as null, it's going to be converted to string, and then it's going to save null value under the table. Okay, now let us just remove this one. Okay, we just remove this one too. So we remove this one. Now let us try to run again the program to see what's going to happen. Now let us run the file. Let us try to save this guy without this kind of the information. Let us put any kind of the ID we wish. Just put any information. Let us say test employee 3, and then let us try to save. You can see they are saying now data saved successful, though this one was null. Now if we try to go, let us try to go to see if this kind of data has been saved. Let's right click on this guy. Let us view the data. You can see we do have the ID test employee, though for the second cell you can see we have null value. See, that's how just solving this kind of the information, I think, as so okay, now this is how just try to save the data to the employee. So now the next part we're going just to make sure we're able to retrieve employee data to be displayed on the table. Okay, and wherever it can update the data and delete employee record from the from the according to the selected law of the Jtables. Okay, so now let us go on. Let us design another form. From here we do have human resource like this way. We're just having this kind of design only. So let us do have another class. Let us create a class from here, whereby we can even can see that just for adding and so on to make sure they're able to learn. That's one when we need like to just to make sure these things are able to communicate. Like if we wish now, if the employee is just there, now we can do some display all the information or nothing else. Okay, so now let us go on from here. Let us try to create another file. Let's click on this one. Let us create a new JFrame form. The new JFrame form, this is going to be employee record. Let us say employee records, and then click finish. That's the table we do, I mean the GUI we're going to use. Now let us increase this kind of the size so that we can have all information at once. So now let us try to retrieve this kind of the information, nothing else. So now let us come up with the panel. Let us put the panel number 1, this kind of the panel. This is going to come up as the table. Let's have the table first. Let us change its properties so that we can add a border. Line border 1 is enough. Okay, and then we close. You see we do have this kind of the panel. Also, we're going to increase the size so that we can have also another panel for just update and delete, nothing else. Okay, according to the selected value. Of course, we can retrieve all the information, then we do update, nothing else. But as you can see, that means we're going to need also to display some information down here. Okay, we go. So let us go on now. So now we do how, let us change this one to its properties to be the border be visible too. Just make it rounded, nothing else. We good. Okay, this one is going to be the Jtable that are going to populate all the information that are in the database. Okay, so we're going to add what you call Jtable. Let's come up table from here. Let's add under the panel here. You can see just being added there. We can increase the size to fit it, to fit exactly what we need from here. So now let us just right click on this one. Let us change. Can even remove that kind of panel. You can see it's no longer needed because just fitting out everything. To drag this way to make it simple. Okay, now let us just change the variable name of this table. It is called employee table. Employee table. So hit OK, and then so when we want to update data, we just need to retrieve all the information that are being found on the database that we can do some update, nothing else. So that means when we just retrieve like data, and we just retrieve data comes from database, we can populate those information automatically to the table. But let us try to see some information that would need to be updated according to the question we do have. Once the update or delete buttons click, the record should be updated or deleted respectively. This is the kind of table we shall have employee ID, employee names, resident sector. But you see, maybe the end user might wish to change not on the resident sector but all of them. Okay, you see. But if you choose to change like resident sector and then we update, that means we can update according to the information we provided, then it can be done. Okay, let us have this kind of information. I'm going to retrieve all the information to be visible on the database. Then wherever we just choose, this guy can be updated automatically. But we can make it simple. We can make it simple where that we can just retrieve those on the information we just provided. Of course, if we do have a sector, we can know exactly the district and province. So, but let us start from the highest level and nothing else. Okay. So now let us try to go back to our source code. Let us go to the source code. Let us click on source code. Now let us come here. I'm going to say it's going to be this one is going to be generated our methods on our methods. Then it's going to be private. Doesn't have to turn anything. Let's say add table column. We're going to add table column, and then doesn't have to have anything. But before we add something to the table, you just need to create what you call a default and a constructor, an object that you want to control space default table. You need to create default table model, so you can use that kind of the table model, nothing else. It's just found under javax.swing.jtable, and then you can say, let us say table model, let's call it table model, and then it's going to be new default table model, control space, then semicolon. Now you come here, I'm going to say table model, the model you just created, dot set column. Now we set column. You can add the column. You can add the column and then specify the exact name. The first one, it is employee ID. Employee ID. This is the column number 1. Okay, let us just copy as many as I can. Just copy as many as I can, so that you can have an employee ID. You can have employee names. You can have resident, province. You can have just to have resident, province, sector, district. Let us have also sector. it has do have also the last two. It has sector, cell, and village. Those are what we need. But after grabbing this table model, we need to use the employee table model dot set model. We need to set the model, and then the model we're going to use, the model is going to be table model. That's that. That's all, nothing else. Now we need to make sure these kind of things being executed wherever we run the program automatically. You see, wherever in the program, this one must be executed. Now if you try to run the file, you can see now the headers has been provided for this kind of the table. You see employee ID, employee names, and so on. Okay, that's the thing we do have. Now we just need to make sure we're going to retrieve data automatically comes from database. Okay, so that means we're going to have by default we just need to populate this kind of data to the data table. Okay, so that means we just need to make sure we're going to create under the DAO, employee DAO, we're going to have another method that's going to retrieve those kind of the information. It's going to be public. It have to return a lizard set of the employee that are being found in database, and then we can add it can return the list wherever you need, or you can return a string. Doesn't matter. The thing is going to work no matter what. So it's up to you to choose that's going to iterate through that kind of the information. You can say it's going to return list, for example, like this way: get all employee. You can get all employee. You can get all the employee. You can see this kind of the list has not been imported. You can just import. Come here. You say import java.util.everything. Now you can see this list has gone. Okay, so now by default it has turned null so that we don't mess up. Now we're going to come here. We say try and catch, grab all exception that can be raised. But because we just in the previous videos we just used to return the lizard set, let me not to confuse you, so that you just grab some information. I will just show you in the next part where you can now use the list, whereby after getting this iterating through the lizard set, you can go ahead and just come up with some information. Okay, it has used the lizard set, it's fine. It has used lizard set, and then it has grab all exception. Don't print stack trace. So that's how you can print the stack trace from here. So now after having this confirmation, we just need to make sure we just have the driver manager. I'm not going to repeat this, guys. Let me just copy this one only. Just need to register the driver and have the statement. So let us have a string SQL that's going to be select all employee record. We need to get all the employee record. Okay, we need to get all the employee from the table of the employee, nothing else. And then it's going to be lizard set, let us say lizard, and then it's going to be statement dot execute query. Okay, this guy is going to return a bunch of the records comes up from database. It's going to have all the information of the employee. Okay, so now we're going to return, of course we need to close the connection, dot close connection, and then we return a lizard. Okay, now return the lizard, nothing else. That's how can retrieve all to get all the employee comes from database. Okay, nothing else. Now let us save. Let us back to our human employee records. Now we just need to make sure we're going to add this some information from here. So we're going to say this was just to add the column. Now we're going to have private void add laws record in table. It does have in table. It does do like this way. So that means before we add anything else, we just need to make sure all. Okay, let us first add this kind of information. We good. So the first thing we're going to have a constructor that's going to come all with all the information comes from the employee ID DAO, I mean employee DAO. So if we do imp like this way only, we say so we can say employee control space again, and then control space again. You can see I'm able to get the employee DAO. That's what I need. It has have say called DAO, and then it's going to say new employee DAO, and then put semicolon at the end. Now we're going to have, let us have a lizard set. Let us have a lizard set. It's found in the java.sql, and let us say employee. Let us say employee list, and then we could say it's going to be DAO dot. We need to get all employee. Okay, we just grab all the employee, and then you just need to make sure you don't mess up or have some errors. That we're going to say if we do like while the employee list dot next, and then do like this way. They would say that unreported exception for SQL exception. This one must be called. That means you need to surround the while loop with try and catch. So I'm going just to cut, and then I say try and catch. Okay, so just catch or any kind of the exception that can be raised, and then it is going to be the exception. Then we print stack trace for it. So now just paste the what we just copied. I mean, we just scattered. While import next has something, then we do next. So now we need to add. We're going to use that kind of the default table model we do have, the table model we do have, so that we can add some information from here. So now we're going to say table model. We just need to add some information. We're going to say table model dot add. We need to add laws, but we're going to use the object of them. Okay, we're going to use the object, and then we're going to say new object is going to be the class of object with array. Just remove everything, then put some like this way. Just is going to be the array, and then after that you put curly braces, then hit enter. Can you see that's how we're going to add this kind of information? So then we start with the employee ID comes from the employee list. Okay, I'm going to say employee list. The first one, I'm going to use the employee list dot get. The first one, it is an integer, as you do remember. So dot get integer. It has have some information from here. This one, it is an integer and on position 1. That's the reason why we're going to get integer. Get the integer and specify the column label. I mean column index is 1. Then after that, put comma only. Then you move to the next. So the next one is going to be employee list dot get. The another one is a string, right? Is a string, and then you put number second. Just put second and then put comma. So let us have the other one also. The last one, those are the string, all of them. So let us just do like this way, so that we don't mess up. So we need number third. That means province, district. We do have sector. So we also have village, I mean cell and village. The last one, you don't put comma, just remove it. Okay, just remove it. So just remove it. So now then when we're done like this way, we just need to to go out of the while loop, and then we say employee table dot add, I mean dot set model, the set model to be exactly the table model we just specify line here. So this is how we just can have this kind of the information that can be automatically updated. Okay, now we need to call always wherever we run the program, we need to call this kind of the method down here. Okay, that's what we need to do always. Now if we try to run the program, let us see what's going to happen. Let's run the file. syntax error near the employee. Let us go just for retrieve data. It has some errors. Let's go on for the employee. The thing that select all from table employee. That's what we missed. Select all from employee. You just missed to write the from, nothing else. Now let us go again. Let us run the file. Those are how you can write SQL query. But when we reach out to the Hibernate, we don't have to write those kind of the queries. You can see now data has been retrieved from database and then be displayed on our table. Okay. Sorry, this kind of table is just somehow long. Let us just put some. Let us minimize. So for itself, it's going to know exactly what to do. Okay, great. Now, those are how you just are populating those kind of the information, and then we need we can adjust this how to retrieve data from database. Now we just done with the retrieving employee data to Jtables. The next part is going to be all about to update and delete employee record from the table. So guys, see you in the next part. Thank you all. Thank you.